Welcome back to the Greenbrier Saints training camp practice number 9 now in the books, and just like the last 4 days, it's been very live action with Sean Payton trying to instill a bit of a competitive atmosphere around here. But the one big difference with today's practice than all the rest, Drew Brees at quarterback had his worst day in practice as a Saint. It was a groundhog kind of day for Drew Brees. Seems like everything he threw up today came down in the hands of the defense.
It was a rough day. It's probably one of the rougher days I've had in a long time, maybe ever, in a training camp practice especially. Some of them bad luck, some of them anticipating where the ball should be, and for whatever reason it gets tipped, or just not quite the execution that we hope for. The one at the end shouldn't happen. That's a critical mistake. You need to avoid those. So those are frustrating, but I'm glad I'm getting them all out of the way right now.
It's safe to say that James Laurinaitis, Eric Harris, and Ken Crawley could be in his dreams tonight. The trio is responsible for Brees' 4 interceptions today, with Crawley snatching a pair of them. Some of it was just good defensive play, but Brees admittedly shoulders much of the blame for some bad decisions.
The part that bothers me is if there's an error made that you just say, that shouldn't happen. I've played enough football. I know the situation. That mistake can't happen. Those are the ones that bother me.
Once again, 4 interceptions by Drew Brees here at training camp today. Garland Gillen with me now, and a big reason why this defense continues to play well. A huge piece that's playing better and better every day, Nick Fairley.
Yeah, defensive lineman. They're calling it one of the steals of training camp and free agency. Only a 1-year deal with $3 million, and so far it's paid off.
Bradford out of the shotgun, fakes the inside handoff to Murray, rolls left, and is another completion down to the 20.
The Saints defense fell to last in many categories in 2015, with teams racking up yards and points with ease. The Saints tried to fix these problems in free agency by locking up former Auburn star Nick Fairley. The defensive lineman bled black and gold since childhood, which swayed his choice of teams.
That's feel real good, actually. Growing up as a kid, that's the team I actually rooted for growing up. And being able to come here and play for this team, it's a real joy for me. Right up the street, my mom's going to be able to come to each home game, probably go to some away games because they're right there too, Atlanta and Carolina, down in Tampa. It just feels real good to be able to know that growing up in Mobile and New Orleans was the team that we rooted for, and everybody back home is rooting for me because they have it down playing for this team.
Well, I sensed he wanted to be here. Mobile's not too far away. I don't know that was the deciding factor. I think he understood the role that we envisioned, and he's someone, I think he enjoys playing. He'll be a guy that is competing for snaps in the base, inside, and also in the sub. And I think we've improved ourselves in the interior of our defensive line noticeably.
Now he's a 2-hour drive from home, and it appears all is well in his life professionally and personally.
It's going great. I feel real good. I'm in a good place in my life. I got a little girl, 3 months, Nori. Hey, baby. I just feel real good. Like I said, I'm smiling now. I'm happy, man.
One, I have to say, the defensive line, one of the strongest units so far in this training camp.
No doubt about it. And they've always talked about how they need to get a push from that front 7. Cam Jordan's like, don't give all the credit to the back 7. The front 4 is doing a good job as well. Once again, this is Garland Gillen. I'm Juan Kincaid. Coming up next hour, Sean Vazan joins me with all of your plays of the day. We'll see you then.
All right, thanks, guys. And the Saints kick off their first preseason game on Thursday. We'll bring you live coverage from Massachusetts as the team faces the New England Patriots. Join us at 6 p.m. for our special pregame, followed by kickoff at 6:30.
Back here at the Greenbrier, 9 of 14 practices now in the book, Sean Vazan, but there's been a common theme over the last 4 or 5 days, and that Sean Payton continues to make a lot of these practices live, full speed.
They go live, full speed, full tackling. The intensity has really been ramped up. It was something that they focused on, and they've really done a good job of keeping them focused in that regard, because normally around this time, this is practice 9, as you said, they're beating up on each other. This is the time you could see them kind of drag a little bit, and it has not happened. Every single practice is lively, competitive. They're not always crisp, but at this stage of the game, you got to like what you see.
Obviously getting them ready for New England in a couple of days. We'll talk about that in a minute, but the big thing out of practice today was Drew Brees just struggling. I cannot remember a time where he's thrown 4 interceptions in one practice. Even he seemed a bit confused by it all.
Yeah, it was not a good day for number 9. It really was not. 2 or 3 of those balls were on him. One was really a good play by the DB. Other one was kind of a batted pass by Cam Jordan, landing in the arms of James Laurinaitis. So Breeze did not have a good day. But you know what? I like what he said. He said, hopefully I get them all out right now.
Yeah.
This is the time to take a little chance, take some chances, experiment a little bit, and maybe make some throws you wouldn't normally make in the regular season. I think that's what happened. But ultimately, Breeze has got to get better. But it also shows the secondary is really good. We've said it all camp, Juan. The secondary is a lot better than people think.
I'm tempering my excitement about the defense, and they've been very good in this training camp. Because I think back to 2 years ago when he first came to the Greenbrier, it looked fantastic. We didn't get that when we went to the regular season. But the defense has looked better. I want to point out a guy in Nick Fairley who I think the Saints said, you know, when we got this guy, we had to kind of trust our instincts on this one. He may end up being the big steal of this offseason for them if he plays up the potential.
If you get a motivated Nick Fairley, you may have pulled off the robbery of the NFL offseason of what they paid to get this guy. Now, that's the question. Is he motivated? And sometimes that's not the best rep to have, but, you know, the Saints trusted their instincts. They brought him in, and he was magnificent today. He had 2 tackles for losses in today's practice. Now, granted, they were against the 3rd team, but nonetheless, Nick Fairley, if he can play and if he's the guy that we all think he can be, this defensive line just got a whole lot better.
It did, and we've always talked about, you know, this team needing to get a pass rush with the front 4. Even Cam Jordan said today, look, don't give all the credit to the back 7. That front 4 is doing the work. They're getting a hand in the dirt and knocking balls down, getting pressure in Drew's face or whatever quarterback's throwing the ball.
Yeah, and you know, I've been concerned with the weak side defensive end, and I think Kasim Edebali has kind of risen to the top spot in that regard out of him, Obum Gwachim, and Davis Tull. But the more I think about it, if you have a solid or disruptive interior pass rush as well, that's almost just as good. The bottom line is you got to heat up the quarterback. You got to get him to make those throws faster, make those decisions quicker. That's where you get the big plays on the back end, and we've seen it. We've seen it here through 9 practices.
I want to go back to the back end for a second because I think when you've got a guy like Pruitt and Crawley and Williams, forget Bro for a second, but you've got young cornerbacks that are just having a heck of a camp. It's going to be a really difficult decision for Sean Payton and his staff to decide, okay, who are we going to keep? Who are we going to try to put on the practice squad? Because those guys may not make it through waivers.
Yeah, and you know, Damian Swan's been injured. Keenan Lewis is injured. We don't know how to what extent.
Yeah.
So that plays a role in the numbers game there. How long are they out? When can they come back? But I know this. King Crawley, Jimmy Pruitt, Devontae Harris, they've made themselves 3 very tough cuts to say goodbye to at the very least. And for an undrafted guy, that's all you really want. P.J. Williams, I think he's showing everyone what the Saints saw in him when they drafted him last year in the 3rd round.
No doubt. And he said he got better by taking a year off. A guy that had never taken any time off since he started playing football as a peewee, but he's obviously playing better with this football team. Now, let's turn the page quickly because I know we have Sunday's practice before they leave for New England on Monday. Everyone's looking forward to hitting someone they don't know, going against an offensive player that they don't know, their tendencies and all that. It's an important step, and maybe that's why there's been so much live football play competitive to kind of pick up the steps going into New England.
Yeah, and you know, you said it, those tendencies. By practice 9, you're picking up on the offensive and defensive tendencies of your teammates. Now you gotta kind of bring that to a different opponent, a very well-respected opponent, maybe the most respected opponent in the NFL, to see if what we've seen here during practice can translate into another practice against another team. So hopefully the Saints kind of build on that consistency and show what they've shown here up in New England.
Yeah, Sean Payton talked about carryover. Carryover is very important. We've seen some good things out here from both sides of the football, but he wants to see a competitive team going up there. You don't want to go up to New England and embarrass yourself against one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
You know, and I think that's going to happen because this has been a very competitive camp, and I think that's been drilled in their head throughout camp, and you know it's going to be drilled in their head when they go against New England. And if you can't be competitive against the New England Patriots, you probably shouldn't have a jersey right now. So I think that part is going to happen in New England.
No doubt about that. Once again, Saints practice number 9 in the books. They'll get back on it tomorrow morning right here at the Greenbrier. For Sean Vazan, I'm Juan Kincaid. We'll see you later.